Prosecution calls Louise Masson to the stand. Place your right hand on the Bible. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may be seated. Can you please state your full name and address?
My name is Lucius Masson. I live at 235 Rue Ayachi Muhammad.
When did you meet Marcel?
I only met him that one day, on the Sunday when Raymond, Marcel, and his girlfriend came to my beach house.
What did you all do at the beach?
We went swimming, we ate lunch, my wife cooked, and we walked around on the beach.
Did any altercation happen at the beach while you were with Raymond and Marcel?
We ran into the Arabs that Raymond spoke of, and there was a fight with them, and Raymond's face was cut.
Do you know what happened after this fight with Raymond?
I know that Raymond and I returned before Marcel and Raymond left again, and then Marcel went off on his own back to the beach.
Did you see Marcel after you went onto the beach?
No,
Do you know what happened?
I can't say for sure, but based on the case, I assume that some sort of altercation happened.
No further questions.
Does the defense have further questions? So you were there the day that Raymond got injured by the Arabs, correct?
Yes.
Can you describe the attack for us?
Raymond somehow provoked the Arabs, and a fight started. They were fighting with their fists, and I defended Raymond by fighting the other Arab.
Was Marcel involved in this particular scuffle?
No, he stood on the side.
So he was not involved in this attack when Raymond was injured, correct?
Correct.
No further questions.
Prosecution calls Magistrate Jules Cardone to the stand. Place your right hand on the Bible. Do you swear to tell the whole truth, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may be seated. Can you please state your full name and address, please?
Jules Carone. I live on 96 Ararat Drive.
What is your profession?
I'm the magistrate of the local courts in Algeria.
What do you do on a typical day at your job?
I come in, we'll have some cases, go through the cases with my peers and other lawyers and stuff, and we'll go through and just see what's happening in the world.
Thank you. When did you meet Marcel?
Well, I met him because it was happening during this one case I heard, and I took it because he apparently killed this Arab. And so we brought him in, and we questioned him, and he didn't seem like the ordinary man.
Can you further explain what you mean by that?
He's lifeless. You see him, there's no expression on his face. He's not the ordinary man. He does not believe in God, and that bothered me a lot.
Was this encounter typical of people you see in the courtroom?
No, it's not. Usually I have people come up to me and they're crying, they're bawling. But this man is not, he is the devil, I tell you. He is a demon.
When you were speaking to him, did you notice that he had any emotion at all, or?
He had no emotion. We asked him about his mother, because I heard his mother had passed away recently, and he had showed no emotion at all, and that frightened me.
Other questions? Does the defense have any further questions?
Did this man ever admit to a murder?
He did not.
Interesting. So, tell me again, what exactly did you observe from yourself?
Oh, what I personally observed is, like I said, no emotion, and then one of the questions I asked him is if he believes in God.
Objection, he actually did admit in your affidavit that he did indeed kill you.
Sustained.
I'm sorry.
No further questions.
Prosecution, do you have any further witnesses?
No, I screwed up the order a little bit, that's my bad.
Next, the
Defense.
prosecution will call Celeste Maltese.
I just,
You called the defendant by accident.
oh,
It's okay.
thanks.
Please place your right hand on the Bible.
Sorry.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may be seated. Can you please state your legal name and address?
Well, I'm Celeste Demont. I live 394 Wilson Avenue.
Can you describe your current occupation?
Well, I'm a chef and the owner of Celeste Cafe down in Algiers.
What were your first interactions with Marcel like?
Well, he seemed like kind of an odd guy. He was pretty quiet, kind of kept to himself. But he wasn't, I mean, he was friendly. But he just was kind of, everybody, when I see people come in, everybody's always chatting with somebody, but he would come in by himself and just put a pen to himself. So.
You had had a few discussions with him, correct, before?
Yeah, I consider him a friend.
Okay. And he had described the story to you where his neighbor, Salamano, had been abusing his dog. Did he seem emotional or sympathetic at all, have any empathy towards the dog?
Not really. He was just kind of like, it's his dog, it's his property, he just kind of can do whatever.
But
so.
he didn't show any signs of empathy, did not feel bad for the dog?
No.
Okay. What would your reasoning for Marcel committing murder be?
I just think it's bad luck, really. Stuff happens,
So you're saying a human being that never shows any signs of empathy or caring towards other people or animals would simply commit murder because of bad luck?
I mean, I wasn't there. I don't know. But all I can say is, pretty little odd guy, but for the most part, he seemed pretty harmless.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Defense, have any further questions?
So you say that he didn't seem harmless, correct?
Yeah, he seemed like he couldn't really hurt anybody. He seems odd, but like he wouldn't kill somebody.
And was he a regular at your restaurant?
Yes, absolutely.
How long was he going to your restaurant for?
Probably like years. Yeah,
Did he always pay his bills?
always. He's a good customer.
Do you think perhaps he was simply acting out of self-defense, or did he give you reason to believe that he had a violent personality?
I mean, it was quite possible. He never really showed any aggressive behavior. So.
And did he come into your restaurant after his mother's funeral?
I believe so, yeah.
And what did you observe from him there?
He seemed pretty normal, like always. I'm pretty sure I didn't even know that his mother had just passed when he came in.
Have you ever talked to him on a personal level about such things?
No, nothing really about personal life. I don't really know much I know Marcel, but I don't really know much about him, you know.
No further questions.
Does prosecution have any further witnesses?
The defense wants to call Raymond.
Any comment for Susan?
Place your right hand on the Bible. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may be seated. So, how long have you known Marcel?
I used my neighbor for a while.
Oh wait, I forgot to ask your name. Will you state your name and address for the court, please?
I'm Raymond Sintes. I live in apartment building 60, apartment number 34 on Muhammad Street in Algiers, Algeria.
Thank you. Now, will you tell us how long you've known Marcel?
I knew him for a couple of years. He was my neighbor.
How well would you say you knew Marcel?
I said we were friends.
And on the day when you guys went to the beach, were the Arabs confrontational towards you at all, or was this an unprovoked attack?
Well, they were coming towards us and I was scared, so yes,
And you were injured, correct?
I was.
Okay. So, was there fear amongst you guys? Were you guys like scared?
Yes.
No further questions.
What would you say your current occupation is, Mr. Smith?
I'm a warehouse guard.
And what was your friendship with Marcel like?
He listened to my poems. He was a very good listener.
Okay. So, when you were first violent in front of Marcel, did you ever, what was his reaction like?
No smoking allowed in my courtroom.
Okay.
Do you need me to restate the question?
Yes, please.
When you were first violent in front of Marcel, what was his reaction like?
He was indifferent, I would say.
And what is your reasoning for abusing Lily?
Well, she was cheating on me.
So you think that is a justified reason to abuse a human being?
Well, she was cheating on me.
Did Marcel agree with you for what you had done? Did he care at all?
He basically just said that he didn't know what he would do in my situation.
Okay. Did he, yes or no, write the letter that you had sent to Elizabeth?
He did.
And why did he agree? Because he also is okay with hurting people? Threatening people?
I think he just wanted to make me happy.
Okay. You invited Marcel and his girlfriend Marie to your friend Mason's boathouse, correct?
I did.
And when you figured out you were being followed by the Arabs, you decided to turn around and initiate the attack by punching them, I think?
Well, I was scared that they were going to attack me.
So you decided to take the offense.
Yes.
Okay. How did Marcel get a hold of your gun? Please.
I gave it to him.
Why did you give it to him? Did he ask you for it?
Yes.
Do you know why he asked you for it?
I do not.
So, to be clear, you convinced Marcel to be loyal to you to the extent of him killing an Arab.
Objection. This has nothing to do with the case.
She's leading the witness.
Yes, it does. This is explaining how Marcel got a hold of the gun and why he may or may not have shot the Arab.
Overruled, but get to your point.
To the court, it is evident that one of his friends was a brutal person and that he, Marcel, is also one of his kind. No further questions, Your Honor.
Prosecution, any witnesses?
No.
Okay. Closing statements.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming here today to hear this case. It was an honor to serve on the prosecution. It is important that we take proper thought and give the proper charge for what this case is about. In 1947, Francis Mousseau went to the beach along with his friends, Raymond Sintz and his girlfriend Marie Cardinella. Raymond Sintz and Francis Mousseau went and got into an altercation with a group of Arabs. Raymond Sintz and Mousseau went back to the beach house, but Mousseau went down to where the Arabs were alone, but this time with a gun. Although no one else was there with him, we can assume that him and the Arab got into an altercation, and he ended up shooting the Arab once, paused, and then 4 more times, making sure that the Arab was dead. After hearing witnesses come forth today and give their personal accounts on not only the case but also his characteristics, it is clear that Mousseau is a killer. In a situation where some should feel guilt and sorrow, he admits to feeling absolutely none. This is not only a disgusting image to kill a man and not feel guilt, but also a danger to our society. If he cannot feel remorse when he is a murderer, then he should feel remorse at his mother's death. But we heard today that he did not. All who saw him that day admitted to him feeling absolutely no remorse or mourning when his mother died. This is extremely telling of Mousseau's character. If he cannot feel when his mother died, then he will never feel again. The magistrate also tells us that he does not believe in God. In our society, someone who does not believe in God is a danger to our world. Today, you have the choice to let this man go free into the world again without reprimands, or give him a charge that he truly deserves. Ladies and gentlemen, the choice today is clear. Mousseau should give his head. That is the only charge that is comparable to the murder he committed and the crime he has done. Why should he walk the earth when a young man is dead and cannot any longer? Thank you for coming here today to hear this court case. I hope you make the correct decision.
Members of the court, we have heard from many witnesses that Mousseau was struggling to cope with his mother's death. Just because his sorrow was not apparent does not mean that he did not have any. He was walking the beach with his friends to get a peace of mind when the Arabs attacked Raymond. He was simply afraid for his life and shot out of fear. There is no reason to believe he was violent and that he was purposefully going to hurt the Arab. He simply just did not want to die. After his friend Raymond was attacked, he had already had to deal with his mother's death, and it is very possible he did not want to have to face death himself. He was struggling to cope, and he needed his peace of mind, so he went to see the comedy with his girlfriend to try and lift his spirits. And after that, he went to the beach with his friends. This doesn't mean he felt nothing for his mother's death, but simply that he was trying to cope and trying to find ways to get back on his feet afterwards. After dealing with his mother's death and the Arab attack came so closely following that, it is reasonable to see that he did fear for his life, and he simply panicked and shot because he did not want to be on the receiving end. He did not want to die. In conclusion, it's unfair to say that he was apathetic and has no remorse for what he did. And this attack on the Arab was simply out of self-defense. Thank you.
All right, I'll now take this time to address the jury. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it is your responsibility today to determine the fate of the defendant based on facts and evidence presented in this case. This is no longer a case of who did it, given the defendant's admission. It's now a case of the motive behind why he did it. The prosecution no longer has the burden of proving guilt beyond reasonable doubt. It is their duty, however, to bring justice through the form of suitable punishment. And jurors, it is your duty to determine said punishment. Let me remind you that in the nation of Algeria, an offense of this severity can be punishable by death. To show the defendant deserving of this, prosecution must prove to you first that the defendant participated directly in the murder of the victim. Simply put, as no one else was involved. Second, that the murder was committed in a heinous, cruel, or atrocious manner. This can be shown through lack of remorse, or the act being performed in an especially egregious manner. With this, I ask you to consider that the defendant shot the victim unprovoked, not once, not twice, not 3 times, not even 4 times, but 5 brutal times, long after the victim was killed. With my many years of experience, I can say with confidence that this exhibits a meticulous design to inflict a high degree of pain and shows an utter indifference to human life. In addition, the defendant continues to be unaffected by his actions, showing little remorse or guilt for his actions. And lastly, that there were no mitigating circumstances to be considered. This could include factors such as age, showing remorse, or other factors that wouldn't excuse the act but may reduce the degree of moral culpability. If each of you believes the prosecution proved all 3 of these things, then you should find the defendant guilty. Otherwise, you should find the defendant not guilty or issue a lesser sentence. That being said, I now leave the decision up to you, and please consider all of these facts. Oh yes, the jury is thanked and adjourned. Or the jury is thanked and excused, court adjourned.
Thanks, guys.